Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the studio this evening. So I hope everybody's getting the picture, because it looks like Twitch is having a problem. It won't give me my dashboard and things like that, but looks like the stream is streaming. Fluffy Twiglet, good evening. Ooh. That's nice. Interesting. You can see how the heat affects the affects the wood. Is that supposed to be a character of some kind, Fluffy Twiglet? It's not one I recognise, but it kind of looks like it should. I should. Super Speedy, hello, good evening, welcome. Change my glasses. And well, I didn't know I'd forget something, because if I knew I'd forget something, I'd remember what it was. But Twitch not working properly kind of threw me a little bit. Right, so let's do this area between the eyes. And I'm still asking myself the question, why on earth did I choose a leopard? Oh, okay. Generic gentleman. It sounds like, though, if you go to the convention, that it should be a particular sci-fi character of some kind, shouldn't it? Right. Okay, yeah, that would kind of make sense. Looking at the character, steampunk would do, yes. So how was it then? How was the convention? Let's give this a bit of a sharpen. This area just around here probably wants, or looks like I want it to be a little bit lighter. I'm looking at the reference and I kind of need to, that's sort of the almost the bridge of the nose, I need to just sort of distinguish it a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll just lighten it up. That doesn't look too bad. Now to the other side. That's sort of dark, and so therefore we're going to get a little bit lighter around here. Well, there was only one life for everyone. It took an hour to get in, blimey. It's that crowdy bit that I don't like. I know it means it's successful and all, but I get tired of pushing people out of the way. Not too bad, Super Speedy, thank you very much. I trust you had a good day. Let's see if we can put a little bit of this rubber nose. Cats always look like they've got a rubber nose. Now I want this to show up, but I don't want it to show up really bright or anything, so I'm doing it with quite a light scratch, so that way it'll look quite dark, but it should still be visible. You can just about see it on the camera, but it should just be visible. Well, you're watching me now, Super Speedy. It's got to get better. Old LH, good evening and good afternoon. Yes, indeed. Hello there, welcome. Can't see it on the camera because there isn't quite enough light on it, but there is just now a nose in here. A little bit later on. I shall move the light a little bit, but and you should be able to see it. It's quite dark, obviously, so it's sort of only just visible. It's quite a dark area just around there. It's almost a black nose in a black area of fur. Right. So let's bring interesting. I thought at first the markings were symmetrical, but they're not. They're close, but they're not quite symmetrical. Lots of dots. Lots of dots. Which I'm busy looking at, thinking, where do I start? Basically, I can really at this point, of course, the dots, the lines can be anything that I absolutely want them to be. There's no real particular reason for them being any particular shape or any particular location. And that looks as good as any. So we've now got fur, which is effectively radiating from around that area out, but following the face contours. Which is, this is kind of like a cheekbone, it's just going to loop over the side a little bit. I think I hear the sound of Cleo digging claws in. I'm just cheating a little bit in that I'm just lightening that edge so that I can put fur in along here, which is roughly the same colour or shade, but because the fur is in about the same direction, you wouldn't see the edge of the nose. So if I just lighten that edge slightly, sort of cheating a little bit, but then you can see the difference between the nose and the cheek area, even though they're roughly the same colour. There's one quite good thing about doing fur though, is you're doing fur to a line, it doesn't stop on the line, it kind of goes over the edge, and so if you go over the edge while you're doing it, that's natural. So you don't end up having to stop dead on a line. It's quite nice. Frequently, if you're doing like a solid object, or like if I was airbrushing, I'd have to stop at a line, the edge like of a cube or something like that. You've got to stop dead. It's can be quite a challenge. Still trying to be very random with where I place the scratches so that we don't get highlighted lines appearing by accident, as you can get if you start and stop them all in the same place. So also slightly varying the angle a little bit as well, so they sort of cross over each other. Again, they don't all lie perfectly parallel to each other. Hmm. Okay, I've done this a little bit light, so I think I'm going to go over a little bit and just make the fur a little bit more dense, which will actually lighten it up. Once I move away from the face, I can then start to use longer fur strokes. Which will make it a little bit faster. There we go. Good question, Fluffy Twiglet. I'm not sure. I think I probably need more of the face in though, rather than just the. Well, at least what I'm going to do is at least mirror that on this side, and then we'll have a look again. I don't know. Because what I could do is just sort of do that sort of area around there, almost like it's peeping out through a forest edge. You know, just looking out in the dark. So it's just that area of the face is being illuminated. I don't know. On the other hand, could just do it all. So we're going to go from about the same area around there. So at this point now, it's time to use a reference picture, not so much for the exact placement of dots or anything like that. It's more of getting a natural number of them, or at least not too many in a space. something like that. Yeah, this is primarily the lit side of the face, so it's going to be quite lighter than this side. Thank you very much. Let's bring the camera in a little bit for a while so you can see it a little bit better. This satchel. Camera's actually struggling a little bit with that. There's a lot of noise in that image. Let me just see if I can help it a little bit. Oh, of course. Yeah, so what it's probably doing a little bit is heterodyning. The fine lines are making the camera struggle. Little dirty crazy lush. Good evening, thank you for the follow. That looks horrible. The camera's really struggling. Excuse me, I'm just playing with the thanks LLH. I'm just playing with the settings a little bit here. Just to see if I can improve what the camera's seeing. That looks absolutely terrible. Yeah, well that's the idea with you. If you get the eyes right half the time, well most of the time for Fluffy Twiglet, then so that they actually look, you know, realistic or what, you know, like real eyes, so you get that reflection in them, then that's 90% of the image. This is a HD camera, but it's acting like it's not. It's making the black spots actually look more like holes. That's a bit better. Let's leave it like that for the moment. What it looks like I might potentially have to do is to, it's not surprising in some ways, but to actually go into these black areas and apply just a very, very light scratch. The high contrast between the white and the black is making them look like holes on the camera, and a little bit like that here as well. So I may just need to grey them a little bit. But we'll deal with that a little bit later on. If I need to, I can do that. It doesn't have to be done now. But that is sort of one of the problems I found with one of the things I found with Scraperboard is sometimes the black is too black, and you just need to it to be a little bit less black. Still black, but less black. I'll probably achieve that by sort of doing some of these little tiny dots, just a few in the area, just to put something in there. But for the meantime, we shall carry on with doing the fur. I was just thinking, Fluffy Twiglet, where you say the eyes are so realistic, it's kind of like, what were you thinking? Maybe I've sort of hidden a real leopard behind the board. But I'm just sort of thinking, you know, well, I suppose they could look totally unrealistic, but that transition there is a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit sharp. That's better. That nose is going to need a little bit more work on it. Thank you. Yeah, the nose is going to need a little bit more work on it. When you're looking at it from the distance, it's a little bit, it's a bit too angular. There's a bit too many sort of straight, what looks like straight edges in there. The fade between the different shades is a little bit abrupt, but we'll come back to it. Oops. I've just realised you're getting a lot of flare off of that light, aren't you? There we go. Hmm. And you do coming to areas like this, what you got to remember to do is to go over the edge rather than just going up to the edge, because invariably you leave a small dark line. So you've got to remember to actually do some scratches that actually go over the edge. It's a little bit the same in pyrography as well. Sometimes if you're trying to butt two colours up together, make sure you go across the transition, otherwise you leave a little dark edge. What it kind of reminds me of is at the moment it's almost like he's looking through a keyhole, or you're looking through a keyhole, and there's this staring back at you from the other side. Sort of like you've been chased into a room and you've shut the door and you're looking through the keyhole to see if the tiger's still there, and that's what you're seeing through the keyhole. That would not be a nice sight. So the nose kind of comes up there. And then we've got the head, the ridge bone of the head, the looks of it. Yeah, there seems to be almost a sort of a curving pattern with the black rings. Black spots. Laser, good evening. Thank you very much. They sort of seem to be in lines, but whether that's just my eyes which are seeing lines where they actually don't exist just because they're relatively, evenly spaced out, I'm not sure. Probably is actually. Okay, right, and that's just around the eye socket sort of thing, so it starts at starting at about there. Okay. Oh, and since the thought just crossed my mind, Liza, I don't know if he's a she or she's a he, so I literally have no idea. I don't actually know if there's any difference facially between them. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe that's what it looks like. So. Fur's getting a bit rougher there. Should maybe start to be a little bit more refined with the scratches. Okay, so that's kind of, yeah. If I was doing this with something like Photoshop or Painter, by now I'd be looking for a way to create a brush to do all these multiple hairs, rather than doing them one at a time. Because one of the advantages of electronic would be that I could do all the hairs and then paint the black spots in again afterwards. wants to be a little bit lighter than that. That's a bit better. I'm just thinking it's a bit like building a jigsaw, is this, in a way as well. As you add, as you're building out from it, it's like adding piece after piece after piece. I'd like to add a few pieces in here now. Hey, 3D Blog, good evening, welcome. And how are you doing this weekend? Oh, yeah, I kind of half forgotten TwitchCon's on. I think half of Twitch must be watching it then, because it seems really quiet tonight on the channel. Apart from the fact it was an invitational, they should have got you to play in that tournament then free, I think. Aren't you an H1Z1 expert? I mean, I think, was it the other night you even managed to get X-ray vision? Had over 130,000 people watching. That's probably why I couldn't get my dashboard up before the stream. It just kept going. What server? Bad request. No gateway. Okay. Yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, that's the idea, is to keep moving with this. That's actually looking better now that I've got some of this area in here. That nose actually looks a lot better than it did. Okay, let's just do it. Yeah, let's, Come on then. So who is your favourite H1Z1 streamer then? Here I am doing it American style, Z1 rather than Z1. I think it was yesterday I was watching an episode of the Ben Heck Show, and he was working with a ZX Spectrum, or a ZX Spectrum, as he kept changing between what he was pronouncing it as and trying to decide whether he should call it ZX or ZX. It was quite funny in a way. Obviously the different pronunciations between the English and the American. Of course, given that Clive Sinclair was English, I reckon it should have been ZX, but anyway. Mr. Grimm's. Oh, okay. Well, obviously those tips worked for you, because the other night when I was watching you, it certainly lasted longer than 30 seconds. Oh, I see. She's having a manicure, is she? Pedicure. Oh, yeah, well, I suppose it is feet. Well, I kind of think of the front paws as hands in a way. Yeah, and it is kind of being in the right place at the right time, isn't it? Or the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, you get those people that are cheating though, like that in all the games, online games like that. I kind of don't really see the point. Well, I guess it makes them feel good, but it's not like they could, you could go to like a tournament and then all of a sudden they'd be absolutely terrible. So without their ability to cheat, so it's kind of like I don't know quite who it's supposed to benefit in a way. When you're playing a game by yourself, and I can remember ones like Doom, where if you switch into God mode, then you can do anything basically, and that's kind of fun in its own. But as long as you're playing by yourself, I wouldn't like to play one of those games, like that with somebody else, and cheating that way just seems too easy. Has it arrived yet, Free? Or are you still waiting for it to turn up? Hmm. In some ways, typical artist. I'm spending all my time here looking at my own artwork. Midweek. Okay. I guess the day it arrives, then you'll be spending the day fitting a graphics card, and then the evening playing H1Z1. Fluffy Twiglet. Leopard. Leopard? Yeah. Did you just go away and come back? Maybe what I ought to do is a bear, sort of image recognition for free, so that when he's playing H1Z1 he knows what to avoid. This area looks a little dark for me, so I'm actually just going to brighten it up a bit. Kind of balance it a little bit more with this side. It's kind of odd, is that sometimes? I've watched. It's time zones, isn't it? Really, I guess. I was going to say I've watched some odd streams, like first thing in the morning when I've had it on when I've been at work, and there's been sort of quite a lot of people watching anything really, and then at other times it's kind of comes and goes. I've kind of been surprised at just how spread out the Twitch audience is. You know, that's watching this stream, not this particular stream, but my stream for a while. Hello from Ukraine. And we're going to get a visitor. Are you going to sit? Oh, are you going to not stand on there, but come and stand here? Come down here. You're just going to sit there. If you sit there, that's okay. Yes, thank you there. Excuse me, but I think I am not even going to try and attempt to pronounce your name there. I have no idea even where to start. It's kind of like type who toggled. Yeah, hello. This is a bigger version of you. Yeah, it is. This one would have both you and me for a meal. I haven't quite worked out what he wants yet. I think he wants to sit on my knee. That's what you keep looking at, isn't it? Come on then. I think he's only semi-interested in streaming though, 3D bloke. This is where I get hairs all over my cotton glove, but you're just going to settle. It was kind of, wasn't it? I don't know, you sometimes get just those sorts of images or pictures for, you know, something like that. If I remember, maybe I'll try and pull that one out as a small highlight. Hello, yes. Okay. Yep, that's true. Mind you, hasn't somebody already got that idea? Didn't they have a fish playing something or other? Still looks like a keyhole to me. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It wouldn't be Super Mario, but it was some platformer game, I think. Let's see if I can get a little bit more done with Junior sat here. So let me just sharpen this point a little bit. Good night, there's that. Have a good evening. Cool. Now then, you've never done that before. What he just did was just put his mouth on my shirt and just start sucking on the shirt. Hello. You feeling like a kitten again, are you? Yeah, that's kind of like around there. Right. Get rid of that. Oops, there we go. I think that's looking okay. But I think Ginger's Nation, hello, hi, welcome to the studio this evening. His little hat's moved. See if I can get it to stay in the same. There. Alright, bye. Off you go then. So we start, yeah, it starts to get dark around this area here because of the shade. But just into this area we've got still light around here. You off? Do you want to stay a little bit longer, Junior? Just a little bit. A few minutes. I don't think you missed anything by the looks of it, 3D bloke. I have to see what happens when I put this area in here. The shading's a little bit wrong at the moment. It looks, and it could be because I'm being fooled by the shape I've got there, but it kind of looks a little concave or flat. I think I need a little bit more shading around, just to highlight the face shape or the forehead shape here, which is kind of very slightly got a valley down the middle, but sort of has two hills from either side. Well, that's the impression that the fur colouring gives. I like the analogy for you. I like the analogy. Because if I recall correctly, Control F4 only closes your own tab and has no effect at all upon OBS. So, and since I'm not typing keys, I'm not quite sure what I was supposed to do. Oh dear. No, see a link, click a link. That's what most people seem to want to do. You don't, yeah. Either they don't have any concept of understanding why people would do it, or just, or just no concept of the obvious. Ethan Jones, welcome back. Good evening. Thank you very much. I'm just wondering what to do now. Interesting. Again, Ethan, can't keep doing this every stream, but hello Kenneth and Mark. Just for you. I am actually thinking that what I'm just contemplating here is this is a little bit awkward with Junior on my knee, who is starting to want to sit on the desk. Okay. Midge PV, hello, welcome, good evening. Junior's starting to want to sit on the desk, and it's just come up to 10 o'clock now. So actually I think what we're going to do is, rather than me try and work around him, which is quite awkward, what I'm going to, yeah, he's coming on the desk. He's probably decided he wants to have a little bit of a snooze. Oh, where are you going? You're going to work out where you're going. Well, what? I did not touch you at all. He is somewhat 3D. You're right there. Yes, he does. He does tend to pop up about this time. I'm going to call it a day. Well, I'm going to call that a leopard and this a cat, but you know what I mean. It is 10 o'clock. It's about when I normally stop anyway. It's a bit awkward, obviously, trying to work around Junior, and now that he's on the desk, it's going to be almost impossible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind those of you that are not taking a look at the shop. You might want to do so. You might not, but you know what the heck, it's free. And there's that 5% coupon off there as well, and pass it on to anybody who you happen to feel like passing it on to. I don't mind. You can spread it as far and wide as you like. But thank you very much, Forson, for joining as well. If that was the case, LDLH, it would probably be in decline. For those of you who may be watching and aren't following, and why wouldn't you want to follow the pussycat? Because I mean, he's a pussycat. There you go. You know, he does join the stream quite regularly now, so you know, you get to see him quite often. So if you want to follow me with a chance of seeing Junior here again, then click the follow button. Obviously it's below the stream window. You can also, if you want to get notifications a different way, follow me on Twitter. It's @Zaragonart. The details for that also below the stream window. If, on the other hand, you just want to try and catch me tomorrow, then I will be on around about 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours GMT. Shadow Ophivi. Thank you, welcome, and thank you for following. Yeah, what was I saying? 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours GMT, or 2 hours ago. Tomorrow, 22 hours time. Thank you all, and see you again in the future. Bye bye.